Hey there folks, and welcome back to the I Am CDB project. I, of course, am your host CDB. You are not, and today we're going to use some let's try that again. Today we're going to use some sterling sharp dressed man. But I also augmented it a little bit, not that it's needed, with some head slick. And the reason I did that is there are some folks who have trouble lathering, new viewers and so forth, and they always ask about it. And I say, one, practice. Just practice when you're not shaving lathering and it will come. And two, if you do have issue or difficulty, say hard water, whatever, try to add a little something like a little bit of head slick to your regular soap, although sterling is excellent on its own. You really don't need to augment it, but try to add a little something like head slick or some of the other creams. I can't think of the other one off the top of my head, Cremo or something like that. And you'll get a really, really nice, rich lather. Some people call that super lathering, uber lathering, you know, all sorts of different names for it. But anyway, it will come out very nice. Sterling Sharp Dressed Man, the scent is based on one of the Creed scents, which I cannot think of off the top of my head. I was getting ready to, I'm all mixed up this morning. I'm getting ready to wet my head and I'm not shaving my head yet. So let's start on the face, shall we? Anyway, it's a wonderful scent, the Sharp Dressed Man, and we will see what we can do. We'll use the Merkur 37C today, or is it 34? Yeah, 34C, not 37. Everything I'm doing this morning is out of whack, apparently. So let's hope I get a decent shave and don't cut myself all over the place. Although I normally don't. This morning I'm a little, lack of a better term, discombobulated, I guess. Why, I do not know. But it was a busy week this week, and you know, I'm busier these days, so I don't have as much time to do shaving stuff, or even really as much social media for that matter. Of course, that slows down a little bit in the cooler months that are assuredly coming. But right now it's still very, very warm here. We had some days this week that felt like, you know, 100 degrees and so forth. And I realize that's not much if you're out in Arizona or maybe parts of California, but that's pretty hot here. I think it's hot anywhere, but at any rate, look at all that stuff flying off of there. Busy week, and I guess it's left me tongue twisted and unable to recall things. But anyway, this is the Sharp Dressed Man is a take on or an inspired by the Creed Green Irish Tweed scent. That's what it is. So there you go. All right. Are we ready finally? Yes, I think so. And here's our Merkur 34C, which is really just an all-around excellent razor. It's common in that, you know, you can buy it right off the shelves at certain stores like Pasteur's, I'm sure in New York, or stores that sell a lot of traditional shave gear, and you can get it off, you know, Amazon, and of course the wonderful shaving vendors. And most people try it at some point. It is a two-piece razor, and it's a very good razor. The one that it's compared to the most is the Edwin Jagger DE89. I actually started out with an Edwin Jagger DE89. The main difference there is the Merkur here is two-piece, and you simply screw the bottom and take the top off. And of course the Edwin Jagger is three pieces, or at least the typical one, or the one I started with. I don't know if they have a two-piece now. They may. I don't know, but at any rate, very, very good razors, and a lot of people label them as starter razors, but I don't consider them to be starter razors. I consider them to be good for most people. Now, if you have a very, very heavy beard and perhaps need a little more aggression, they might not be for you, but for most people, they hold up pretty well and do pretty well. And so keep that into consideration. If you've never tried one, if you're new, you know, I suggest you pick up a Merkur 34C. 37C is the slant version. It's very good as well, if my numbers are correct. Like I said, this morning my brain is not functioning as it should, and arguably it doesn't function that great even when it does function. So anyway, the 34C is a fantastic razor. If there's one thing that Busta was right about, and we talk about Busta, or Michael Bustamante, for those of you who remember him, and he's still around, just not doing shaving stuff. And he said he was gone for good, but I never really take it seriously when he says he's gone for good. I think even though he said it, he might be back one day, or at least we hope. But anyway, he was always a huge fan of the Merkur 34C, and with good reason, and he's right. And so if he got anything right during the years that he was talking about shave gear, and he got a lot of stuff right, this razor he was certainly absolutely correct about, and we absolutely agree on it. It is very, very good. All right, very, very nice, smooth shaver, not super aggressive, in the mild category, but not extreme. So if you're worried like it's a Feather ASD2 mild, it is not. It's mild, but it has a way of doing a good job, a very good job for most people. May not, like I said again, if you're one of those people that have, you know, very, very coarse hair, very, very thick, you might have trouble. But for most, I think it does a pretty doggone good job. So please consider it if you have not used it, and see what you think, and go ahead and try that Edwin Jagger DE89 as well. Both really, really nice razors in my estimation. Let's rinse it a little bit. This one's going fairly fast, just really smooth and nice, which you wanted. Of course, the soap here is fantastic. It's got great scent. The folks at Sterling are as good folk as you ever want to deal with, I can assure you. If you've ever noticed, if you've ever ordered something, wow, I'm really tongue twisted today. They package their products very well. They usually shrink wrap them, and they don't hold you over the barrel on shipping, and then you end up paying, you know, $8 on shipping. One of the things that I noticed, that I've spoke to this before in other videos, is the post office has certainly increased their rates over the years, and the vendors have had to increase their rates as a result. But some vendors always were a little more on shipping, and of course they have every right to do that because it's their business. But you'd notice even when it was, you know, like $5.80 for a small flat rate, they were like $7. Taking a little extra profit there, that's okay, you know. But I always appreciated folks who kept their shipping reasonable, and many of them do. And so it's really nice that they have had to increase it some, but it's still reasonable relative to what the post office charges for a small flat rate, for example. They're still quite reasonable, all things considered. Last I checked, they don't charge as much as what the post office actually charges, and so they do a great job. And I, for one, appreciate their commitment to value, as I do, you know, all the other vendors that I mention on a regular basis, be it West Coast or Italian Barber, or, you know, you name them. I always appreciate outstanding value, and it's really, really good stuff. And don't forget the head slick. If you have never tried it for shaving, it does lather, and it does a great job. The scent is, there really isn't much of a scent, but you do get some menthol cooling as well, because there is a little menthol in it. So if your soap doesn't have menthol, you'll get a little cooling from it, which is, you know, quite nice. And just like that, we've gotten our shave in. Let me rinse off here, and we'll come back and do the post. Stay tuned. All right, and we are back with the Magic Made by Witches. There's Witch Hazel, which is very, very good stuff. And we'll slap that on, and it feels fantastic. And let us do a quick summary of what we use. Sometimes I use the term review, but I don't mean it like I'm reviewing the product. I mean that I'm just giving a quick review of what I used. Sterling Sharp Dressman, excellent, excellent soap. Great quality, great people. If you like cologne-inspired scents, grab it. It's fantastic. Merkur 34C, excellent all-around two-piece razor. It's really hard to beat for the money. It performs wonderfully, and of course, check out its sort of counterpart or competitor, which is the the Edwin Jagger DE89. Excellent razor as well. Of course, we used our timeless bowl, which I use all the time. It is really the only bowl I use. RazoRock 400, which I love. And we augmented the lather again today, for those of you who have problems with head slick. If you grab a bottle of this and you're having trouble lathering, you don't need much, just a little. Add it to your regular mix. It will help you out dramatically, I think you will find. Thanks as always for joining me. Until next time, I've been your host, CDB. You're not. God bless.